Hello everybody, this is Billy again. Here today, just kind of right before I have to go to work at 12:30, and lately I've been doing a lot of reading. And one of the last books that I just finished reading was called How to Be Good, and it's by Nick Hornby. And the purpose of this video is I want to just talk a little bit about the book that I just read. And I'm starting to read this year. What I want to do is I want to read one book a month, and then I'm going to post a video about like what it's about and give a little review on it. So this book, let's get into it. This book is the genre is comedy. It's definitely a funny book. I found it at Half Price Books. I was just kind of walking around and I came across it, and it just I don't know why I picked it up. It just looked like it on the cover. It says fearless and it says hilarious, so I thought maybe I was in a mood to laugh, so I figured I'd pick it up and start reading it. And it was definitely a book that I could read from start to finish without stopping. It really captivated my interest. One of the things that I thought was interesting about it was it's written by Nick Hornby, who also wrote. Um, I don't know what else he wrote, but I know that he's a good author. But it's written by Nick Hornby, who is a man, but the book is written in first person as a female spouse. So like I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, so you're reading as if your woman is talking to you, and she's telling you about all of her problems and what's going on in her life and how she's feeling and things like that. Now I don't want to give too much away, but um, the book was about her and her marriage and the problems that are coming with it, and how she's having trouble dealing with her husband. And in the beginning of the book, she has an affair, and then she feels really guilty about it, and she ends up telling her husband about the affair, and he doesn't seem very devastated, but he's very understanding, and he really wants to change. And throughout the book, he does these like crazy like good deeds, and he meets like this spiritual healer, and they're trying to do all these good deeds for everybody. Like, one of them was they tried to have everybody, all the neighbors on his block, take in a homeless youth and live with them. And so yeah, it's really like exaggerated and silly and pretty funny. The narrator is a very sarcastic, cynical woman, so that's kind of my humor, so I thought it was pretty funny. And I think mainly the moral of the story was just to kind of work through your battles with your marriage, no matter how hard they are. They might not be perfect 100% of the time, but that is the point of marriage. Is it's supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be something you have to work at to have it be beneficial and what it was meant to be. And so she got mad at him, had an affair, and they were kind of working through it. And at the end of the book, there was a quote that I do want to quote at the end of the book, just because I feel like it was it kind of pulled the story all together. Because at times I was reading this book and I was like, I'm not really sure how this is going to end, because it just seemed like kind of random. Like there wasn't really like a climax or any major problem. It was just kind of a bunch of like little random things that were going on, and how the narrator Katie reacted to it. But the last part of the book, last page of the book, she finally realizes that she still loves her husband and they are going to stay together and they're going to go back to how things were. And what she says is, "My family, I think just that. And then I can do this. I can live this life. I can. It's a spark I want to cherish, a splutter of life in the flat battery, but just at the wrong moment I catch a glimpse of the night sky behind David, who is her husband, and I can see that there's nothing out there at all." And I thought what this was kind of symbolizing was just her desire to kind of go somewhere where she thought maybe the grass was greener on the other side. And after she lived that life or had her little um, kind of emotional breakdown where she went and had an affair and tried moving out, and she kind of came back to her senses and just learned to be satisfied with what her life is and not what it isn't or could be. She and I thought it was a really good moral to the story, really good ending, really funny book, and I would highly recommend it for anybody else that um, is interested in reading comedy, or I wouldn't say it's a romance novel in any way, but it there is an aspect of love in it that is kind of interesting to see what Katie's take on it is. So that's all. I just wanted to do that little review before I start my next book. If any of you else have read the book, just comment below and tell me what you thought of what your interpretation of the book was, and or let me know what you thought of my interpretation of the book. And yeah, let's start a conversation about it. Let's keep this going. This isn't a one-sided conversation. This is something that I want to share with people. So don't be shy. I'm non-judgmental, and we can have a conversation about it. The next book that I'm going to read, or I started reading, it's a nonfiction, but this is The Five Love Languages. I was recommended to read this book by a friend of mine, and so I will let you know how that book is and what I think of that book after I'm done reading that one. So that is all. I hope everybody has a good month, good week, and I hope to hear from you all. Thank you.